Not the usual harsh of shadow and stone, but with something deeper. A stillness reached the riverbanks, the echoing halls, the chamber of memories. It was the solstice, the longest night, and even the dead felt its weight. Hades had sat upon his throne. He did not wear his crown. He did not summon storms. He simply listened. Above the living lit candle, they sang, they gathered, but not all were joyful. Some sat alone, some wept. Some stared at the empty chairs and wished for the voices that would never return. Hades closed his eyes. He did not intervene. He was not a god of comfort, but that night he made an exception. He rose from his throne and walked the length of the underworld. At each gate, each chamber, each river crossing, he whispered a single command. Tonight you may speak. The shade stirred, not with sound, but with longing. They gathered in the grove, not of dream, where the veil between the worlds thinned. Hades stood at the center, his cloak trailing silent. He raised his hand. Only in dreams, he said, only once. And so the dead whispered, not with words, with memory. A mother's lullaby, a brother's joke, a lover's promise, a friend's farewell. The whispers rose like mist curling upward, carried by sleep. Above the living dreams, they saw faces they had missed. They heard voices they'd forgotten. They felt warmth they thought was lost. And when they woke, they did not cry. They lit candles and made tea. They simply spoke gently to another. Not because the grief had vanished, because it had been heard. Hades returned to his throne, but he did not smile. But he did not frown. He simply sat on the grove of dreams, quiet once more. From that year on, every solstice, the living placed black stones beneath their bed. They called it the silent night, a ritual of dreaming, of listening, of remembering that even the god of death can offer peace. In Hades, ever watchful, sits and allow it, not of worship, for mercy.